Hey everyone and welcome. Landing an FP&A role can be incredibly rewarding. You are at the heart of business strategy, driving key decisions with your financial insights. But the interview process, that can be little daunting. In this video, we'll break down on exactly how to prepare and shine in your FP&A interview. This is going to be a slightly long video, given that we'll be covering every aspect of FP&A interview from tips, strategies to common interview questions and answers. So feel free to skip to the timeline of your choice if you feel necessary. So let's dive in. Number one, the technical stuff. So FP&A role demands a strong foundation in finance and accounting. So be prepared to discuss the following points. Number one, financial statements. You should be able to explain the relationship between income statement, balance sheet, and cash flow statement. So understanding the key line items and how do they connect. For example, let's say you should be able to walk through on how the changes in inventory impact all three. Number two, forecasting and budgeting. So expect questions around different forecasting methodologies like the trend analysis, zero-based budgeting, etc. And your experience in building budgets. Be ready to describe the time where you built or significantly contributed to a forecast. Number three, financial modeling. While you might not be asked to build a full-fledged model on the spot, you should be able to understand the principles around financial modeling. Be comfortable discussing the key assumptions, sensitivities, and scenario planning. Mention any specific modeling technique that you are familiar with, like DCF or ratio analysis, etc. Number three, variance analysis. This is crucial in FP&A. Be ready to explain on how to analyze the actuals against the budgets and forecast. Identify key drivers of the variances and how do you communicate those insights to senior management. Have an example ready where you identified a significant variance and what actions were taken. Next is key performance indicators or KPIs. So you should understand on how to identify, track, and analyze the relevant KPIs for different businesses and departments. So think about the examples of KPIs you've worked with and how do they drive the business decisions. Last but not the least, Excel proficiency. This is non-negotiable in FP&A. You should be comfortable with common formulas and functions like SUMIF, SUMIFs, COUNTIF, COUNTIFs, VLOOKUP, XLOOKUP, pivot table, charts, graphs, etc. In many companies, the Excel assessment round is a part of the hiring round or a part of interview process. So you should be able to demonstrate your working knowledge in MS Excel. Demonstrating that you've done your homework on the company is crucial. So before your interview, make sure to take care of these points. Number one, research about their business. So understand their products, services, their target market, their revenue model, their key competitors, etc. Number two, if possible, review their financial reports. If they are a public company, analyze their recent earning calls, investor presentations, annual reports, etc. Pay attention to their key financial metrics and key strategic priorities. Number three, understand the role. Carefully review the job description and understand specific responsibilities and requirements of the FP&A position that you are interviewing for. Last, stay updated on the industry trends. So be aware of the broader economic and industry factors that might impact the company. Have a look at some of the common interview questions and their answers. Number one, what are the key responsibilities of FP&A analyst? So the key responsibilities include budgeting, forecasting, variance analysis, financial reporting, performance monitoring, and providing insights to support strategic business decisions. Number two, how do you approach the budgeting process? The answer, I start by gathering historical data, I understand the key business drivers, I collaborate with the department heads, I create realistic assumptions and build a flexible budget model. Number three, explain the difference between budget and forecast. Fairly common question. A budget is a financial plan for a specific period, typically a year based on strategic goal. A forecast, on the other hand, is a projection of future financial performance, often updated more frequently based on the current trends and the actuals that we get. Number four, how do you conduct the variance analysis? So you compare the actual results to budget or forecast, you identify the significant variances, you investigate the underlying causes and provide explanation and recommendation for corrective actions. Next question, what are some of the financial metrics that are most important to you and why? So the answer could be, it all depends on the businesses, but typically revenue, gross margin, operating expenses, cash flows, these are the important metrics that provide the comprehensive view of a company's financial health and performance. Question number 6, how do you use MS Excel for financial modeling and analysis? So the answer could be, I use Excel for building financial models, performing scenario analysis, creating pivot tables for data analysis, utilizing the common and advanced Excel formulas, and creating charts for visualization purpose. Next question, describe your experience with financial planning software. Any software, it can be, Anaplan, Hyperion, anything. Now you need to tailor this to your experience. So you can say, I have experience with, say, Anaplan, Hyperion, anything. And you mention the specific task. So which task were you performing? Budgeting, forecasting, reporting. So understanding the importance of leveraging the technology to streamline your process and improve accuracy and save time. If you don't have a direct experience, just state that you are a quick learner and you are eager to learn the new software. Next question, how do you handle the tight deadlines and prioritize tasks? So your answer should be, I prioritize tasks based on urgency and importance. So I break down the large projects into smaller tasks. I then manage my time effectively and communicate proactively with stakeholders to manage expectations. Question number 9, how do you communicate the financial information to non-financial stakeholders? So your answer should be, I present financial information in a very clear and concise manner using visuals and plain language. So I focus on the key takeaways and explain the implications of the data for the businesses rather than focusing too much on the numbers and details and data. Next question, how do you stay updated with industry trends and best practices in FP&A? So your answer should be, I follow relevant people, FP&A specialists and experts on LinkedIn. I regularly read about publications. I attend webinars, conferences. I participate in professional networking groups, learn from thought leaders. I've subscribed to the relevant channels, and I actively follow and share the FP&A content. The other common question is, describe a time you had to present a complex financial data to the senior management team and what was the outcome. So your answer should be using the STAR method. So STAR method stands for situation, task, action and result. So describe the situation, what was your task, the action you took and the positive outcome of your presentation. The next common interview question could be, how do you handle situations where actual results deviate significantly from the forecast? So your answer should be, I investigated the reasons for the deviations, I identified the root cause and updated the forecast based on new information and communicated the revised forecast and its potential impact to the relevant stakeholders. Question number 13. How do you ensure accuracy in your financial models and analysis? Answer, I used robust formulas, perform regular checks and validations. I also document my assumptions and collaborate with other team members to make sure that there is a second layer of review so that my work is validated, to ensure that my formulas are accurate and my financial model is depicting the accurate results based on the inputs. The next common interview question, what is your understanding of the key financial statements? So basically income statement, balance sheet, cash flow statement. So the answer should be on the lines of, I understand the purpose and interrelationship between these three statements. I can explain on how do they reflect a company's financial performance, position and liquidity. Question number 15. Tell me about a time you had to challenge a business assumption. Again, I would recommend you use the STAR method. So you describe the situation, S for situation, you describe your task, what was your task, T for task, and then the action you took, A, and then finally the result or the outcome. Question 16. How do you contribute to strategic decision making within an organization? The answer should be, I provide financial insights, I analyze potential scenarios, I evaluate the financial impact of different options, and support the development of business cases. Question number 17. What are your strengths and weaknesses as an FP&A analyst? Now here it's a slightly tricky question, but I'd recommend you to be honest and highlight your strengths, which can be analytical strengths, attention to detail, communication skills, etc., and addresses your weaknesses with a plan for improvement. Next question. How do you handle confidential financial information? Very important. So your answer should be, I understand the importance of confidentiality and follow company policies and procedure to protect the sensitive information. Question number 19. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Fairly common. So your answer should be, I aim to grow my career in FP&A, taking on increasing responsibilities and contributing to the strategic success of the company. Question. Describe the difference between a rolling forecast and a static budget. So the answer could be, a static budget is a set of is for the fixed period, so typically a year, and it remains unchanged once it is prepared. A rolling forecast, on the other hand, is continuously updated, adding a new period, so a new month or a new quarter as the previous one ends. Next question. What are the advantages of a rolling forecast? So the advantages of rolling forecast include increased accuracy, better adaptability to changing conditions, and more relevant information for decision making. Next question. What are some of the common types of financial reports that an FP&A professional prepares? So the common FP&A reports includes number one, budget versus forecast report, budget versus actual report, monthly, quarterly financial packages, so P&L, balance sheet, cash flow, etc. Then we have the variance analysis report, we have the KPI reports, KPI dashboards, etc. Sales and revenue reports, sales and revenue deviation, expense reports, etc. The next question could be, explain the concept of driver-based forecasting. So, driver-based forecasting involves identifying the operational and financial drivers that basically influence your business performances. For example, some of the drivers can be sales volume, customer acquisition cost, etc. So these drivers are used to project the future financial results, providing a more accurate and insightful forecast. Next question could be, what are some of the different types of forecasting methods, and when would you use each of those types? So the answer could be, number one, trend analysis. So the trend analysis typically uses historical data to project the future trends. We also call it the historical analysis or incremental analysis. Next is moving averages. So this smoothes out the fluctuation of data. It is useful for the short-term forecasting. Next forecasting technique can be regression analysis. So it identifies the relationship between the two variables and accordingly forecast the data. For example, you can have with the rise or fall in temperature, the sale of the air conditioner may be increasing or decreasing. So here the one variable could be the temperature, and you can use the projected temperature to predict the sales of air conditioners. Next can be we have a forecasting technique which is scenario planning, so where we develop multiple potential scenarios. This is typically used for uncertain environments. So and this is the inputs, you project the output. So different scenarios, under different scenarios, what would be your output? Lastly, we have something known as qualitative forecasting. So qualitative forecasting relies on expert opinions, market research, etc. So where you don't have numbers to to use as the context or as an input, you use the subjective information, which is the historical, which is the expert opinion, market research, etc. Next question could be, how do you handle situations where there are significant uncertainties that make your forecasting difficult? So your answer should be on the lines of, I use scenario planning to create multiple forecasts based on different potential outcomes. I also focus on identifying the key risk factors, and I accordingly develop a contingency plan. Next question could be, what is the importance of understanding the key performance indicators in FP&A? What's the use of KPIs? So KPIs provide valuable insights into the company's performance, and it helps to identify areas for improvement. So FP&A professionals use KPIs to track progress towards goals, analyze trends, provide recommendations to management, etc. Next question could be, how do you ensure that the budget is aligned with your company's strategic goals? So how do you ensure that? You would normally collaborate with senior management to understand the company's strategic priorities. You would then develop a budget that allocates resources to support those priorities, and hence you ensure that the budget aligns with the strategic goals. Next can be, can you explain how do you build a cash flow forecast? Very important. So how do you build a cash flow forecast? You start with beginning cash balance. You then project the cash inflows, which is from sales, collections, etc. Then you build on the cash outflows, so all those expenses, investments, and then you calculate the ending cash balance. I have a separate video on how do you prepare the cash flow forecasting. You can also refer that. So we have what are some of the challenges that are associated with budgeting and forecasting, and how do you basically address those challenges. So some of the challenges in budgeting and forecasting include inaccurate assumptions, lack of available data, obviously the rapid changing market, and how do you overcome all of these things? By using the robust data analysis, by making sure that you collaborate with the relevant stakeholders, and by continuously monitoring and updating your forecast. Next question, how do you use financial modeling to support business decisions? So you use financial modeling to create different scenarios that show potential impact of different business decisions. This allows the management to see the financial implication of their choices and help them make informed business decisions. The interview is not just about them evaluating you. It's also your opportunity to learn more and show your engagement. So prepare thoughtful questions to ask the interviewer. Good questions can demonstrate your interest and understanding. Some of the questions that you can ask can be, say, what are the biggest priorities for the FP&A team in next 6 to 12 months? How does the FP&A function support the decision-making process at the company? What are the biggest challenges and opportunities faced by the company right now? What does a typical day or a week look for this kind of role? What opportunities are there for professional development within the team? So all these well-prepared questions shows that you are proactively and genuinely interested in the opportunity, and thereby chances of getting hired. Here are a few tips that you should follow irrespective of whether the interview is for FP&A or any other profile. Number 1, be on time, or rather be at least 15 minutes before the scheduled time. In your responses, you should highlight job stability and positivity. So avoid speaking anything remotely negative about your current company, boss, anyone. Number 3, practice in advance for common interview questions. Number 4, keep your answers limited to a specified duration. It can be, 60 seconds, 90 seconds, depending on the question. But yeah, don't unnecessarily drag your answers and responses. Next is listen carefully to what interviewer is saying, what is he asking, what does he intend to, what is his intention behind the question. So don't just make it in the form of question and answer, make it in the form of a conversation, nod while he's saying something to you, and then take a pause and then answer. Next is address the questionnaire with his name. When you take someone's name, it creates sort of a rapport, and then it helps you getting selected. Last is smile when you are answering. Try to come across as someone who has a pleasant personality, who's easy to talk to, and who's easy to work with. Lastly, close on a positive note. Be patient with the results, right? Don't jump on a conclusion. Finally, practice makes perfect. So give mock interviews. Reach out to a friend, a mentor, or a career counselor to conduct mock interviews with you. Verbalize your thought process. So when answering a technical question, explain your reasoning step by step. Work on your delivery. So pay attention to your body language, the tone of your voice, and the clarity of communication. It would be good if you can prepare talking points beforehand, outlining the key achievements and experiences that you want to highlight. So the more you practice, the more confident, the more prepared you will feel on the actual interview day. Thank you. All the best.